Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons that have anything to do before the Honorable Bernadette Saber, Justice of the District Court, now sitting at Fall River, within and for the Commonwealth, draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Good afternoon. This Honorable Court is now in session. You may be seated.
Thank you, Mr. Court Officer, and welcome everybody from the Mastery School, the teachers, the students, all the litigants, lawyers, witnesses, and lookers on and guests of this event. This will be the trial, the mock trial of the Bears versus Goldilocks, and we're here to celebrate the month of May, which in the legal world has a lot of significance. Specifically, May 1st is designated as Law Day, where we recognize how the United States has created this wonderful democracy with constitutions and rules of law that govern how we resolve conflicts among one another in a calm and measured way, not by force, not by weapons, not by fighting, but in a court of law, according to rules and procedures. And that's what we're here to sample today in a very, a little different way, using a very common children's tale of Goldilocks and the Three Bears and a little dispute that's arisen about between them, so that you three jury pools here can sit and listen to evidence, make those decisions according to your common sense and your own experiences, which may be somewhat similar or somewhat different, and see how the dynamics of a jury works. Because even though I'm a judge and I do make plenty of decisions being a judge, what we're here for is to recognize that the jurors, the people of this Commonwealth, and you as jurors also have a lot of power. You're making decisions as to the facts of what really happened here. You're going to listen to all the evidence, listen to the witnesses, and you're going to try to determine who to believe or how much to believe of what they have to say. And then at the end, the six of you, or I believe there's six in each group, will get together and discuss the evidence and reach a decision of who you believe and which way to come out on the case. And that's exactly what juries do in this Commonwealth every single day. Sometimes with small matters, sometimes with very serious matters. But they all come together to work under the same system. And we're here to sort of celebrate that and to give you that little glimpse of it in this manner. So again, thank you for inviting us all here. I think the lawyers that are all participating have really gotten into it. You can tell by their costuming. My costume is sort of designated, so the plain old black robe thing. But we're really proud to have students here who can put their heart and soul into this. So I believe there's some other welcoming remarks, so I'll turn it over to the others that have the welcome. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sandy Dennis, and I'm the Executive Director for Creative Arts Network. And we too are very happy to have you here today to participate. I think this is a great collaboration with the Fall River Bar Association, the Master School Recreation. I'm not going to take up a lot of time other than to say thank you, have fun. I'd like to introduce Grace Gerling to say a few words. Grace Gerling runs Fall River Recreation, which is the building that you're in right now. Thank you.
Hi everyone and welcome. I'd like to start off by thanking Sandy and Dave Dennis and the Creative Arts Network for allowing us to be a part of this wonderful event. We really hope that we can make this an annual event. We were chatting back in December in this room, wondering what we could do as far as a collaboration, and Sandy brought up the mock trial that she had done in years past, and we thought, what a great place to have the mock trial. It being the old district courthouse, and now it's a new gymnasium for our agency, and where we run many of our programs. So Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the students of Mastery School and to Renee for allowing the students to come, and to all the volunteers that are here today. Have fun.
And then the last person that I'd like to have say a few words is Julie Lynch, Goldilocks, and she is president of the Fall River Bar Association. She's going to say a few words as well.
Hello everybody, thank you for coming today and participating. I'm Julie Lynch, also known as Goldilocks. I would like to thank the Mastery School for being here today and all the participants, and I hope you have a good time and enjoy yourselves.
All right, well, since I already spoke a little out of turn, I guess, according to the program, you've already heard that. So I just want to announce, and we'll get right into the programming then. As I said earlier, this is the case of Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear versus Goldilocks. As I understand the pleadings, the charge against Goldilocks is that she showed bad manners. Are there any opening statements?
Yes, there is, Judge.
All right, could you introduce yourself to the jury, and you can begin.
My name is David Dennis, Attorney David Dennis, and I'm going to represent the Bears today. Your Honor, in this case, we'll show that one crisp fall morning, Mama Bear got up early and made a steaming bowl of porridge. She intended to serve the bowl of porridge to Papa Bear and Baby Bear for breakfast. We will further show that because the porridge was too hot, the Bears decided to take a walk in the forest. While walking in the forest, Goldilocks entered the home of the three Bears and ate some porridge out of the bowls of Mama Bear and Papa Bear. She ate all the porridge from the bowl of Baby Bear. After eating Baby Bear's porridge, Goldilocks sat down in Baby Bear's chair and broke it. After breaking the chair, Goldilocks went upstairs and fell asleep in Baby Bear's bed. Through our evidence, we'll show that Goldilocks did not use good judgment, good manners in her actions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Does counsel for Goldilocks have any opening statement?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Attorney Lisa Luongo, and I represent Goldilocks here today. Your Honor, these charges against Goldilocks are just ridiculous. We will show that the Bears essentially invited Goldilocks into their home by leaving the front door open. Goldilocks was out walking in the forest, minding her own business, and picking flowers when she smelled the sweet aroma of porridge cooking. She had been in the forest many times before, and she knew where the Bears lived. Goldilocks merely thought she was invited in for breakfast. We will further show that the porridge was so good that Goldilocks fell asleep on the bed while waiting for the Bear family to come home so she could thank them. Finally, we will show that Goldilocks was a guest and certainly did not demonstrate bad manners. Thank you.
Thank you, very well. All right, members of the jury, I just want to remind you that the opening and the closing statements of the attorneys are just a preview, just an outline of what they think the evidence will show. But it's not evidence, so what you have to do is pay attention to the witnesses who be called, because only from their mouths and any exhibits that are introduced, that is the evidence that you are to consider. At the end of the case, the attorneys will both be able to make their closing arguments, and again, those aren't evidence, but they will try to argue to you and persuade you to their point of view. So we'll begin with the Bears. Please call your first witness.
Your Honor, I'd like to call Mom A. Bear.
Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the answers you're about to give the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Absolutely.
All right, please be seated. Go ahead.
You state your name and your address for the record.
Mom A. Bear.
Mom, A bear. Not mama, mom.
Mom A Bear.
Mom, A bear.
Where do you live?
I live in the forest. We got this great little cottage. My husband built it, actually. It's cute, it's small, it's quiet, it's in the middle of the forest. Oh, we got flower gardens, a kitchen, bedrooms. It's cute. Cute, cute, cute.
Is that forest located in Fall River?
It is. But like on the outskirts of Fall River, not like downtown Fall River. You can't put a cottage downtown Fall River.
Oh, I understand.
Outskirts.
Who else lives in the house?
Well, I live with Pop, a bear, and Baby, a bear.
Okay.
My family.
Now I'd like to draw your attention to the evening of October 26, 2020. Did you make breakfast for your family?
Did I make breakfast for my family? I make breakfast for my family every single morning. I make porridge. It's the best porridge. My mother had a recipe from her mother, who had a recipe from her mother. It's porridge like passed down through the years. Sometimes I put some raisins in it for Papa Bear, and some Baby Bear doesn't like the raisins, but they all love my porridge. I make it every day. Every day they eat my porridge. Best porridge around, I'll tell you that right now.
Well, very well. It sounds delicious.
It is.
After you made the porridge, Mom A Bear, what did you do?
Well, we all sat down. First of all, I called them. They're all upstairs. You know, of course, it's only me in the kitchen. I'm the only one making the porridge because I'm the only one that knows the recipe for the porridge. So I'm slaving over the stove, making the porridge. I put the porridge on the table, a plate for Papa Bear, a plate for me, and a plate for Babe A Bear, right? And I say, hey, come down here, get your porridge.
And then what happened?
And I only have to call once because they don't want me screaming. Comes down Papa Bear, he sits down, here comes me, here comes Baby Bear, everybody sits down, and they start eating their porridge.
Now, I understand that you went for a walk in the forest.
Well, you know, my porridge, homemade, fresh, from a family recipe sent down from years and years and years and years. But it's kind of hot, right? Because it's fresh. And they start eating the porridge. Papa Bear says, hey, this is too hot, I'm gonna burn my tongue. So I got the great idea, let's go for a walk. So we leave the cottage, we go for a walk, we're gonna let the porridge cool down, too hot to eat. Don't wanna burn your tongue.
Now, when you get back from your walk, what did you find?
What did we find? Well, we get in there, somebody ate some of Papa Bear's porridge, somebody ate some of mine, and they just about licked clean the bowl of Baby Bear's porridge. Nothing to feed my baby. Nothing to feed my baby. Food gone. And there's some chick sleeping in baby's bed. You imagine coming home finding a stranger in your baby's bed.
So, what did you see when you got back?
Well, you know, I screamed. I was upset about that. I called for Papa Bear. I said, look at this. We got some broad sleeping in the baby's bed. What are we gonna do?
Okay, that's all I have, Judge.
All right, thank you very much, Mama Bear.
Thank you.
Call your next witness.
We call Pop A Bear.
All right, please stand, raise your right paw. Do you solemnly swear that the answers you're about to give the court will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please have a seat. You may proceed.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Pop A Bear.
Do you live in the forest with Mom A Bear and Babe E Bear?
I do. We live in a cottage that I built. It's in the Flint, not the outskirts. Mom A Bear thinks that because we don't live in the Highlands, we live in the outskirts. We live in the Flint, and I love it.
Now, very well. When you got back from your walk in the forest, what did you notice?
I noticed the door was open, which upset me because I'm always telling Baby Bear to close the door behind her, and she doesn't, and I'm going to talk to her about that.
Okay. Did you smell porridge in the house?
How could I not? It's the best porridge. Whenever Mama Bear makes porridge, all you can do is smell it. It's amazing. I did. I did smell porridge.
Now, when you got back to the house, what did you notice first?
So I noticed that the bowls of porridge, or my bowl of porridge, was empty. Didn't have any porridge in it. And it had porridge in it when I left.
Did you say anything?
I said, "Somebody's been eating my porridge." Just like that.
Okay.
And I growled. Growl, just like that.
Yeah, have this marked as Exhibit A.
All right. Are you, all right. That'll be marked as Exhibit A for the bear.
Pape Bear, I now hand to you what has been marked as Exhibit A. Is this your bowl?
Yes, it is my bowl. Can't you see the P for Papa Bear on it?
Is this the bowl of porridge? Is this the bowl that the porridge was in that was sitting on your table?
Yes, this is the only bowl I eat porridge out of.
And when you came back from your walk in the forest, is this the way you found it?
Empty, just like this, nothing in it.
Your Honor, I'd ask that we admit the into exhibit, the bowl into exhibit as Exhibit A.
All right.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Would you like to publish it to the jury? All right. By publishing it, that means he's going to pass it to you. You can pass it around among you to take a look at it. No licking the bowl if there's any remnants of porridge in it, though. I guess it has to go to the back row.
So while they're looking at Exhibit A, Pape Bear, another question for you. After you discovered your porridge bowl was empty, what did you do?
I went into the living room.
And what did you see?
I saw my chair, my special chair, like someone had been sitting in it.
Did you say anything upon noticing that someone had been sitting in your chair?
I said something like, "Somebody's been sitting in my chair." I think that's what I said.
And then what did you do?
I was starting to get suspicious, so I went upstairs.
What did you notice upstairs?
Well, I went into the bedroom, and I noticed that the bed was all unmade and messy, and I was very surprised.
Your Honor, Goldilocks objects at this time. We all know that Pop A. Bear never makes his bed, that he waits for Mom A. Bear to make his bed. How do we know that the bed had been messed up, wasn't messed up by Pop A. Bear that morning?
Sustained.
Stay. Pape Bear, did you make your bed that morning?
I did. I made my bed specially for Mom A. Bear because it was her birthday, and I never make my bed, but I made my bed as a birthday present for her.
And when you got back, was the bed messed up?
It was.
Did you say anything?
I said, "Somebody has been sleeping in my bed." Growl.
Did you see anybody sleeping in your bed?
I did not. It was just evidence that somebody had been in the bed and the sheets were all messed up.
That's all the questions I have for you, Pape Bear.
Thank you, Papa Bear.
Thank you.
Next judge, I'd like to call Babe E. Bear.
All right, baby bear, raise your right paw. Do you solemnly swear that the answers you're about to give the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. You can be seated. Baby Bear, just as a preliminary question, do you know the difference between a truth and a lie?
I think so.
All right, if I
I'm a little
told,
nervous, Judge.
well, that's quite understandable. I see you have some support there, so that will help. But as long as you know the difference between the truth and the lie, we expect you to tell the truth here.
Okay.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. What's your name?
Baby Bear.
Okay. Did you go to school?
I do. I go to the, I forget the name of my school. It begins with an M.
I see. And who are your teachers at preschool?
Oh, it's Miss Avila, and it's the Mastery School. Now I remember.
And you always mind your teachers at preschool?
Most of the time, I do.
And have your teachers told you to close the door when you leave the room?
Well, they're teaching me about that, but sometimes I forget.
Did you go for a walk with your mommy and daddy in the forest?
When?
When you got back from the forest, what did you see?
What day?
Are you having difficulty understanding the questions?
Kind of, because you didn't ask me what day. What day are you talking about?
The day of the incident.
Oh.
Do you recall that?
I remember that now, yes.
Okay.
I went for a walk with Mommy and Daddy. That's Mommy and that's Daddy right here. And Mommy makes the best porridge ever. So it was too hot. So we went for a walk to see the birdies and the bunny rabbits, and sometimes there's a deer there. And we, just to wait till our porridge was not so hot.
And again, once you got back to the forest, what did you see?
Well, I was going down to eat my porridge, and my bowl was empty.
And what did you say, if anything?
I said, somebody's been eating my porridge, and they ate it all up.
If I may, Judge?
Want to get the other one from
Evidence table.
No objection?
No objection.
All right. We'll mark this as Bears Exhibit B.
May I approach, Judge?
You may.
I'm going to show you a bowl. If you take a look at that.
Okay.
And is this your porridge bowl?
Yes, it is. That's my special bowl that my grandma gave to me when I was a little tiny baby.
And is this the bowl that was empty when you came back into your house from your walk in the woods?
Yes, this is the bowl.
May I have this marked Exhibit B?
All right, that'll be marked Exhibit B.
May publish to the jury?
You may.
Now, when you came back from the forest, Baby Bear, what did you do?
Well, I came back and I went into the living room. I was going to watch some TV. And I have a special chair that my grandpa gave me for my second birthday, and I usually sit on it. And I like to watch TV on that chair. I watch the Red Sox. I watch YouTube. I watch my favorite people that I like to listen to. One is Olivia Rodriguez. I have her shirt on today, if you didn't see that. Did you see that
Very
shirt?
nice.
Yep.
Lovely shirt.
Yeah. Do you have another question?
Oh, I just need to find out where the bowl is. And when, is that your chair?
This chair right here?
I'm just,
I think so. It looks kind of tiny though for my body.
No objection, Your Honor.
this mark as exhibit B?
I think we're moving to C. It should be C. We'll make sure that they're marked
This is
properly.
this is C.
That will be C. No objection?
Is this, do you recognize that as your chair?
I think that's my chair. I think so. Yes, this is my chair.
Is that the chair that was broken?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Could you move your friend from your face so that the jurors can see?
Can we publish? Thank you.
Or I think you can.
May I publish it?
You can publish that, juror.
So Baby Bear, you agree that that's your chair, that was broken, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then what did you do? Did you go upstairs to your bedroom?
Yes, I was very, very sad about my broken chair.
And did you make your bed that morning?
I think so. I think I remember it was Mama Bear's birthday. So I think we made our beds, yes.
And when you went back upstairs, what did you see?
When I went upstairs, I looked and my little pillow was gone. And then I peeked under the covers and I saw a little girl. And I shouted, "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed." And there she is, a little girl.
And what did the little girl do?
She got up and she ran so fast, and I saw her golden locks as she ran out the door.
Is the little girl who was sleeping in your bed here today?
I see some. Oh, I think it's that girl right there.
May the record reflect that the witness has identified golden locks.
She looks a little different though, but I think it's her.
Now I'm going to show you a pillow. I'm going to ask you if you recognize the pillow.
That's my pillow.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, this will be Exhibit D. D.
Can I publish to the...
You may.
So this is your pillow, is that you correct? And you recognize that pillow? Baby Bear, you don't have golden hair, do you?
No, I don't. My hair is brown and furry. See?
I do. Oh, very good. There's golden hair on the pillow. Could that be Gold E-Lock hair?
I think it could be. It's not mine.
Very well, Baby Bear. Do you have anything else further to say?
Well, I don't really blame Baby Bear because Mama Bear makes the best porridge in all of Fall River. And I wish she had...
We would stipulate that Mom A. Bear makes the best porridge in the whole wide world. What I said. Not to mention the best porridge in Fall River.
All right.
Okay.
That'll be noted for the record. Anything else you need to say?
I just wish that that Goldilocks hadn't broken my favorite chair.
Anything further, counsel?
No, thank you, Baby Bear.
You may be seated.
Well, that's all the evidence we have. The bears rest.
All right, very well. Will Goldilocks be presenting any evidence in this case, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed.
Your Honor, as my first witness, I call Goldie Locks to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence you're about to give in testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, of course.
You may be seated.
May I proceed?
You may.
Thank you. What is your name?
My name is Golden Locks. I'm also known as Gold E-Locks because when I was born, my mother said I had golden hair. So ever since then, I've been known as Gold E-Locks.
I see. You have very pretty locks.
Oh, thank you.
Where do you live?
I live with Mother Locks and Father Locks and my little baby brother Locks, and we live on Forest Way. Oh, and I also live with my dog Harley Locks. He needs a haircut though.
Oh, that's very interesting. And is your house located anywhere near the house of Baby Bear?
Oh, yes it is. Baby Bear and I see each other all the time when we walk through the forest. See, I like to walk through the forest and I pick flowers, and I see the rabbits and the deer, and Baby Bear and I go to the same school, the Mastery School. And my mom takes me every day in her Prius, and sometimes I bring flowers that I've picked in the forest to my teachers.
And are your preschool teachers the same as Baby Bear's preschool teachers?
Yes, they are. And at school, we sing, and we have activities, and we have snacks.
And I'm sure along with your preschool teachers and your mother and your father, they have told you never to go into a strange house, correct?
Of course they have. But, you know, sometimes I forget, especially when the porridge smells so good.
Now, Goldie, on the day in question, were you out walking in the forest?
Yes, I was. I was out in the forest one early fall morning, and I was picking flowers, and I was watching the bunny rabbits, and I was looking for deer.
And when you were out in the forest, what did you smell?
I smelled the most yummy porridge. So I followed my nose through the forest, and I saw this big brown house, and it said Bears on the front. And I knocked on the door, but nobody was home. But I figured they had to be nearby. You see, I was very hungry. I usually get breakfast after my morning walk, because sometimes my mom goes with me for my walk.
I see. And then what did you do?
I followed I knocked on the door. That's right, I knocked on the door a lot. And I knocked, but it looks like the door was open.
Did you enter the house?
Yes, I did, because the door was wide open. So I followed my nose to the kitchen, and there I saw 3 bowls of porridge.
And when you saw these 3 bowls of porridge, what did you say?
I said, "Oh, my porridge."
And then what did you do?
I went over to the big bowl of porridge, and I tasted it, but it was too hot. So then I went to a smaller bowl that was Mom A-Bear's bowl, but it was too cold. So then I went to the 3rd bowl, and that was Baby Bear's porridge, and it was just right. I was so hungry, I ate it all up.
Were the bears at home when you were eating the yummy porridge?
No, I didn't see the bears, but again, I think they had to be close by. I think I got distracted when I was eating the porridge that I forgot about the bears.
And then what did you do?
So then I wanted to thank the person who made the porridge, so I went into the living room. And I didn't see anybody there, but again, I thought that they might be close by. And I wanted to thank the person that made the porridge, because my mother taught me that when somebody does something nice for me, that I have to say thank you.
Did you find the bears in the living room?
No, I didn't. So I decided to go sit down, and I wanted to find out who made the porridge and wait for the bears to come home, because I wanted the recipe from my mother. You see, my mother makes porridge, but not as good as this porridge. This was probably the best porridge I've ever had in Fall River, because it was just so delicious that I wanted the recipe from my mother to make, because my mother's porridge is, sorry Mom, but it's okay. And so I thought that it would be a good idea to wait. And I think the secret to the porridge, now that I think of it, that I think they used a paw full of raisins.
And did you in fact sit down in any of the chairs?
Yes, I did. I went to sit in this great big chair, and it looked like my daddy's chair at home, but it was too hard. So I went to another chair that looked like my mommy's chair at home, but it was too soft. And then I saw a third chair, and it looked just right.
And what happened when you sat in that third little chair?
It broke. I know that it was a decorative chair. I'm sure that I couldn't have broken it. I barely weigh anything. I don't think that if I sat in that chair, it would have broke. I think it was broken already. I'm sure of that.
Then what did you do?
I was so sad about the broken chair. I had to tell somebody. So I went upstairs, and I wanted to tell the bears about the chair, but they weren't up there. So I came across this big room that looked like my parents' room, and I laid down on this one bed, but it was too hard. And then I laid down on this other bed, but it was too soft. Then I went into another room, and I saw that it looked just like my room at home, but it was Baby Bear's room. So I decided to sit down on the bed, and I was crying about the chair, and I was so sad about the chair, and I was so full from eating the porridge that I guess I just closed my eyes and just fell asleep. I mean, I guess I messed up the other beds, but honestly, Papa Bear's bed was very messy, and it looks like he probably made it himself.
What do you remember next?
The next thing I remember, there were 3 bears standing over me. And Papa Bear looked so mad, he said, "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" And then Mama Bear said, "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" I was so scared, I ran right out of the house to my mother.
Now, Goldilocks, as I recall your testimony, you ate the porridge because it smelled so good and you were hungry. You didn't knock the door down, but you walked into the open door, thinking that the Bear family would not care. Next, the chair was broken when you sat down to wait for the maker of the porridge to tell her how good the porridge was, and then you accidentally fell asleep on the bed. You didn't mean anybody any harm, did you, Goldilocks?
Of course not. I mean, it really seemed like quite a friendly house, and I knew that Baby Bear lived there, and I really don't think I broke the chair. I mean, I feel very sad about that, but I didn't mean any harm, and I did not break that chair, I'm sure of it.
Thank you, Goldilocks. Your Honor, that's all the questions I have for Goldilocks today.
All right.
Thank you.
Ms. Locke.
Thank
You may
you.
step down. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, as my next witness, I call Mrs. Locks to the stand, Goldilocks' mother.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the answer you're about to give the court will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please be seated.
Good afternoon. Would you please state your name for the jury?
My name is Curly Locks, but I use an amazing straightener.
And where do you live, Mrs. Locks?
We live up the Flint on Forest Way.
Are you the mother of Goldilocks?
She's my little princess.
What kind of little girl is Goldilocks?
Well, Goldie's essentially a good little girl. She's mischievous like most girls, but she tries to do the right thing. Sometimes she forgets. I do have trouble with her that she likes to wander through the forest. We've talked about this, picking flowers, and she likes to look at rabbits and deer. Most of the time I do go with her, but on that morning in question I was getting ready for my CrossFit.
You say Goldilocks is essentially a good little girl. Does she say please?
Most of the time.
And does she say thank you?
Oh, I've taught her to say thank you. And her teachers at school have taught her to say thank you. And she says thank you most of the time when she remembers, but she's little and she forgets.
Does she help you with the dishes?
Most of the time, but sometimes if SpongeBob's on television, she runs downstairs. But it's her favorite show, and so we understand that.
Does Goldilocks attend preschool?
Yeah, she goes to the mastery school. She loves science and math, occasionally swinging on the swings in art class, and she loves it there.
Well, this mock trial here today is about Goldilocks having bad manners. Do you think that your daughter Goldilocks has bad manners?
Goodness, no. Outside of her complaining about my porridge, she does occasionally forget, like most little girls, but I know she tries to use her good manners. The only reason she went into the bear's house is because the food smelled so good. She was hungry, and I understand that. She ate the porridge simply because she wanted to stay there till the bears came back to tell them how good the porridge was and how she was appreciative. And she did tell me that the chair was already broken when she sat in it, and she's not very big, and I don't even think she could break it.
Where is Mr. Locks today?
He has COVID. He's in quarantine.
Oh my, I wish him the best and quick recovery. Is there anything else you would like to say, Mrs. Locks?
Well, we're sorry that the bears were inconvenienced, but if they would like to come to our house for breakfast, I would be glad to fix them what I consider the best porridge in Fall River, according to my 2,000 TikTok followers. So.
Thank you, Mrs. Locks. You may step down.
Thank you, Mrs. Locke. All right, would you, is there any other evidence?
No, Your Honor. The Goldilocks rests.
All right, thank you. Would you like to summarize, counsel?
Yes, I will, but I think...
Okay, and we'll begin with Goldilocks, counsel.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I believe we have shown here today that Goldilocks is basically a good little girl. She has said that she meant no harm in going into the bear's house and when she opened the door to go into the bear's house. Actually, she did not have to open the door because the bears left the door open and Goldilocks thought it was an invitation to go into the house. The porridge was so good that she could not resist it, and after she ate the yummy porridge, she merely wanted to wait for the bears to come home to thank them. She didn't mean to break Baby Bear's chair, and in fact, there is no real evidence that she broke the chair at all. I think the chair was already broken when she sat in it. She is certainly not big enough to have broken the chair. She is sorry that she fell asleep in the bed. But again, she was merely waiting for the bears to come home so she could thank them and to ask them how to make the yummy, yummy porridge. She certainly did not display bad manners. And in fact, she showed good manners by waiting to thank the bears. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Attorney Dennis?
Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we've shown that Goldilocks, without being invited, walked into the bear's home and ate Baby Bear's porridge, broke Baby Bear's chair, and slept in the bed. She did all this without being invited, and certainly that meets the test of bad manners. Even though Goldilocks knew better, that's no excuse. I'm sure the jury agrees that one who displays good manners does not do such things.
Thank you, counsel. All right, members of the jury, it now becomes your duty to decide the fact issues of the case. You've now heard all the evidence that exists in this particular case, and you'll have the opportunity to come and look at the exhibits such as they are, because they're in evidence. So the evidence in this case consists of the testimony of the witnesses who were testifying from the witness stand, not the arguments from the lawyers, just the witnesses, as well as the exhibits. That's the evidence that you have to consider. You can also decide the credibility of the witnesses. That means whether they're believable or not, or whether they have any motivation to lie or not tell the truth. That will be up to you, and you can use your own common sense in making those credibility determinations. Credibility is the believability of someone. So that will be your duty. And now, when you go to your jury rooms or however you're going to collect in the jury rooms, you're going to be discussing the evidence, and I would encourage each of the 6 of you in each of the groups to discuss the evidence among yourselves. Talk about it, argue about it, about what you feel is true or not true, and what you think the outcome should be about whether or not Goldilocks has bad manners or not. Are there verdict slips?
I can get them for them.
Okay, well, I guess I just wasn't sure what their question will be, but, because it's not really a criminal thing, but did Golden Locks have bad manners, yes or no? Maybe, that'll be your decision. And I'm going to select one of you from each group to be the foreperson. And what the foreperson of the jury, foreperson of the jury will do is simply be the one that marks the verdict slip. You know, after you've all discussed the case, they don't have any more say-so than the rest of you, but after you make your collective decision about the case, then the foreperson will be the one that marks the slip. And when we ask for the verdict, the foreperson will stand up and give it, all right? So in jury number 1, let's do Eva Lynn Costa. Raise your hand. Okay, you're the foreperson of jury 1. Jury 2, Elliot Richard. You will be the foreperson of jury 2. Jury 3, Liam Clark. Liam, you'll be the foreperson. Oh, I guess you had already pre-selected those. I just realized that. All right, well, we'll leave it as such. All right, so if you would, I guess I'll do that. If you could please rise, the jurors, and raise your right hands. Do you each solemnly swear that you will make true answers to the questions put before you and decide this matter on solely the evidence that you have heard in this court during this trial? I need to hear a response. Yes? Yes. All right. All right, if you could go now with the court officer or with Sandy here. We'll wait for your verdict. Thank you. All rise for the jury. I'm just gonna go. All right. I just was waiting for Sandy to come back. Is she coming back? All right. All right, members of the jury, have each of you reached a verdict? Jury number 1? Yes, would you stand? All of you? All right. Madam Foreperson, has your jury reached a verdict? Yeah, a decision. And is the answer with regard to the question, does Goldilocks have bad manners? Is it yes or no? No. What? Thank you.
Oh my God.
You can be seated. Jury number 2.
All right, they're getting
Mr. Foreperson, has your jury reached a verdict?
Yes. We believe that Goldilocks has shown bad manners.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Jury number 3. Mr. Foreperson, has your jury reached a verdict?
We have.
All right, would you kindly announce that verdict, please?
We believe that Goldilocks is guilty and has bad manners.
Thank you. You can be seated. All right.
And I have the best porridge.
2 out of 3 juries have voted the bad manners, but I just want to thank all the jurors, no matter what your decision was, for giving this the time and attention that this case deserved. Because each case, no matter how big or small, deserves your complete and total attention and hard work. I hope that you each got an opportunity to discuss the evidence amongst yourselves and talk and debate about the evidence as you reached your verdict. So, as always, I always thank the jury. We sort of lost our court officer, who would have, and at the end I did say all rise for the jury, and that's just a symbol of our respect for what a jury does to our system of law, because really we couldn't do this job in the law without jurors, everyday students who come to the court every day willing to sit down, listen to both sides, and try to make a decision on a case. And you have done that, and you should be proud of that, because that's our system of justice. It's not always perfect, but it's the best one in the world. So I hope you got a taste of that today. And I would open it up for questions. Does anybody even have a thought of ever becoming someday when you get older to go to school or become a police officer or a court officer or a lawyer or a judge or anyone connected? Has anybody even thought about that? Raise your hand. I'm just curious about that. I won't hold you to it. That's good. Does anybody have any questions of me or the lawyers, or, I mean, actually everyone involved in here is a lawyer. All the witnesses were all lawyers too. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Yeah, go ahead.
Do I have to stand?
No.
Okay. So it's about I guess when she was talking about this, Mama Bear said that the porridge was Papa Bear's porridge was empty, or was that Papa Bear? No, I know Baby Bear said that Papa Bear's porridge was full, but Mama Bear said otherwise.
Well, you have just pointed out what happens in real trials, that sometimes there's discrepancies. People remember things differently. Does it mean that they're lying about it, or are they just mistaken? And that's one of the things that juries have to use their common sense to figure out. And you've just shown us an example of that, because there was a difference of opinion. There was just a taste of it out of some of the witnesses, and then others said it was all gone. And that was something that you just have to sort through as a jury to decide how important is that it was it just a taste, or did she eat the whole thing? How important that was, whether the motivation of the person who was testifying, whether they were trying to lie or shade the truth, or were they just mistaken or forgot. So that's just one of the things that jurors have to sort through. Yeah?
What was the right decision? Like, was Goldilocks innocent or guilty?
Well, you know what? I never tell a jury what's right or wrong, because I look at it like this. 6 strangers, like each group of you, 6 strangers come together, and at least in this case 4 out of 6 had to agree to a verdict. And so when people come together after they've hashed it all out and they come to a decision, then in the law we decide that that's the right answer. And for example, in a criminal trial, which we didn't call this a criminal trial, because it was hard to know about bad manners. Although sometimes they can rise to the level of being criminal, because some people are rude. But in a criminal case, it would have required all 6 of you in each jury to agree one way or the other. So in a criminal trial, the standards are tougher, as they should be, because there's penalties with criminal cases. So the law requires that the jury be unanimous in their decision. So in civil cases, you don't need a unanimous verdict. So you're all right in your own way, the way you decided it. Anybody else have a question? Yeah.
So when our group of jurors decided that Goldilocks was innocent, we actually had quite a few reasons to believe it. Are we allowed to share them?
Yes, I would love to hear it. I'm sure the witnesses would like to hear what you thought was important. Yes.
We have reasons to believe that Goldilocks was innocent because when they were talking about the bowls of porridge, we had reason to believe that Papa Bear's bowl of porridge wasn't empty, and if it was, he had eaten it all because when they went for a walk, because the porridge was too hot. We also have reason to believe about the porridge was that when we decided that, another reason why we decided that Goldilocks was innocent was because they weren't on a walk in the forest because the porridge was too hot. And Mama Bear's porridge was too cold, so Goldilocks said. And also, we also have reason to believe that she's innocent because when we were examining the chair, it didn't look like that when someone just sat in it, it could have just broken. Because when I was examining it, I saw that it was kind of sliding to be in half. So that's another reason we thought that Goldilocks was innocent.
Well, those are all excellent observations of the evidence. That means you followed the instructions to listen carefully to the evidence and the testimony of people, sort out what you thought was true, not true, and then that's how you reach your decision. So again, that's what we thank jurors, everyday jurors, for doing every single day is to just come with an open mind, listen to the evidence, and then hash it out among you. Did everybody in each group get a chance to talk about it? Did everybody like throw in their 2 cents? Yeah, every group like had that? That's good. Yes.
So when we were being asked this stuff to examine them, there was an open walk on the pillow, but I didn't see what
Well, that might have just been an oversight on Alan's part, and not having every I and T dotted, and probably a hurry-up decision to find a bloody pillow. But that's just shows you how much they paid attention, actually, to have those little individual factual things that they were looking for, and that's I will say that in my experience, I was a judge for 22 years, and I handled criminal and civil trials. And I've been overwhelmingly impressed with everyday people. And once you're 18 years old, you will be eligible to sit on a jury, a real jury someday, wherever you are. But I've always been impressed with how much time and attention jurors give a case. I know jury service, and you guys, well, this was getting you out of school, so you were happy to be here. But a lot of times jurors have to miss work when they come for jury duty, or miss school or something, or I'm sure there's something else they'd rather be doing. So they don't always come to us in a happy mood. But I will say, despite the inconvenience of going for jury service, once they get involved in a case and get chosen to sit, they're overtaken by the sense of responsibility to make a judgment and to be responsible for a decision on a case. And they take it seriously. They listen to the evidence just like you guys did. They look for those little tiny details and discrepancies between things. And just like you on this scale of things, they've also done it on their cases as well. And I've always been very impressed with juries. So I hope you found it interesting. taking a well-known children's tale and kind of giving it a little twist to make out a case out of it. Just to point out some of the features of our system of law, of rules, and the procedural way to resolve this. Not letting the bears go up and attack Goldilocks to fix the chair. No, we settled this in court. And that's in a way that is a good way to have a conflict resolved. So does anybody else have any last questions? Or I think there's a bunch of refreshments that are going to be available. Is Sandy, do you want to wrap up with any final comments?
Your Honor, can we just clap for the jurors?
Absolutely. Oh, sure, I'll hold that. Okay.
We have gifts for the jurors, Sandy?
Yes, they just as a little remembrance.
Is there one that didn't get one?
Did everybody get one?
So just before we conclude, we do have some certificates of appreciation out of the Honor and St. Hannibal. Judge Bernadette Sabra,
Oh, thank you.
Mastery School of Independent Learning. Is there someone here from the school, I assume?
Thank you.
We're in the corner of recreation. Sheldon, our court officer, who had to be turned back to work. Bristol County Bar Advocate, Kelly. Attorney Lisa Luongo. Attorney Julie Rich. Attorney Sharon Sullivan Pacini. Attorney Rena Brown. Attorney and City Administrator Seth Bacon. Listen, I want to thank Judge Zabra for coming out of retirement today.
Yep, thank you, Judge.
We hope we'll have that. And we certainly appreciate Judge coming and doing what she did so well for, as she said, 22 years, probably in this courtroom. No, you were never here, were you?
Well, I was actually an assistant DA in this court.
Most of us actually practiced here at one time.
Yes,
Before we went to the new building, so this is a very familiar room. This used to be pre-trials. We used to sit over here. There was a desk over here for probation. This was a real bench at one time, and the clerk used to sit up front, and there was a podium here. Funny story, it wasn't funny that day, but somebody picked the podium up and wasn't happy with what was going on. They picked the podium up and they threw it at the clerk's desk. So, but we used to, and then the audience used to sit back here. But I want to thank you. You guys did a great job. We appreciate you being here. We hope you. Did you learn something? What I hoped you learned is that given the sort of the state of the world these days, I hope you have a different appreciation for the rights and freedoms and liberties that we all enjoy here in the United States. I hope you know that that isn't always the case around the world, as you well know. And we have one very good example of that happening now, and that's part of the pin that I have on my lapel. So leave here today knowing the basis of all that is a thing called what? It's a constitution. It's a living document. It's a constitution. We also happen to have one here in Massachusetts, the state constitution. So it's that document that really ensures and enshrines the rights and freedoms and liberties in our way of life that we enjoy every single day. So don't ever forget that. And we hope that you'll never be in the courtroom, at least not over on this side.
Only as a juror.
Only as a juror. So thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed the experience. Go home and tell your moms and dads that you had a really good time today. And the really good news is there's food outside.
Yay.
So thank you all. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the day. And there's some boards up here that if you want to go and read some nice boards up here that we did with some information on it, you might enjoy reading them. Thank you. Thank you, Betsy.
Thank you.